Hey guys, my name is Leja, but you can call me Lay. Welcome back to A Little Atypical, where we explore wellness, personal development, and lifestyle topics. Welcome to my second post of 2025 as we continue our journey together. We'll be exploring more sustainable approaches to achieving your goals. Building on the previous discussion to avoid burnout with your goals, today we're diving into one of my favorite strategies for creating lasting change. Imagine transforming your entire life with changes so small you barely notice them at first. That's the magic of micro habits. Tiny daily actions that compound into remarkable results. From conquering fitness goals to mastering productivity, these subtle shifts in behavior are like secret shortcuts to success. So let's dive in. As you can tell from the title, obviously, as mentioned, we'll be talking about micro habits. And micro habits in general have been a hot topic for a while because they are small, manageable actions or routines that require minimal motivation and effort to complete. These tiny behaviors that just take a few minutes or even seconds to perform can lead to significant changes over time when practiced consistently. Unlike major life changes that can feel overwhelming, micro habits are so small they're almost impossible to fail at implementing. For example, instead of committing to 1 hour workout, a micro habit can just be doing one push-up every morning. Or rather than attempting to meditate for 30 minutes, you might start with taking 3 mindful breaths before bed. The key is that these habits are so small that they bypass the usual resistance when we start to establish new behavior. So before diving in, let's understand why these tiny habits can lead to significant transformations. When we make small, consistent changes, our brains create new neural pathways. These pathways strengthen over time, making behavior more automatic and requiring less conscious effort. A lot of you may know about this if you read Atomic Habits by James Clear. I read that book, I believe, at some point in college. But a lot of times I look over the notes I've taken on that book and constantly try to remind myself of this. Here are some of my micro habits that created macro changes in my life, and these can work for you. I want to give a disclaimer that these worked for me because of where I was at in my journey. So I'm going to try to think of ways to break it down even further from what I said. Bear with me. So the first micro habit that I did was increasing my daily steps. One of the most impactful changes I had in 2024 was increasing my daily step count. I am starting with this one because in the past, I struggled with my health a lot in college, and even though I did exercise, it was not enough movement in a day to be even considered lightly active. The movements I did most likely averaged out to be 3,000 to 4,000 steps, and I would not move much outside of that because I heavily had work to do on my computer. The dangers of sedentary lifestyles are well documented, from increased risk of cardiovascular diseases to decreased mental well-being. It was clear something had to change in my approach to my health. I started by habit stacking movement with activities that I already enjoyed. It started with the mini stepper, but when that got intense at times due to my body weight at that point of time, and I felt a lot of pain in my calves, I started to just pace around my kitchen, or if the weather was nice, take a walk by the beach. I eventually invested in a walking pad, but I would do these movements while pairing it with a book or a podcast or just simply scrolling through social media. I would walk around my apartment. This small change eventually led to getting a walking pad, but here are some other creative ways to increase steps. So one thing you can do is whenever you're taking phone calls to walk around while doing it. If you drive, you can park further from entrances. If you're at work or school, use a bathroom on a different floor if you can without getting in trouble. I don't want anyone to get in trouble because of me, but Yeah. You can walk during TV commercial breaks. You can walk while your food is being heated up, like if you use a microwave or the air fryer. You can just like pace around or like just like move around while it's being made if you don't have to like watch it so heavily. You can do like walking meetings with like friends or colleagues or whatever. And for other points, I'll break down things I do further for beginners, but I feel like this is the most micro the habit could get. The next thing I did was time theming for flexibility. So instead of rigid hourly schedules, I organized my day into theme blocks that align with my astrological birth chart, my daily responsibilities, and my goals. Before I continue, I just want to add it doesn't have to be astrology. It can be anything that fills you with hope or is interesting to you, related to your religion, the four elements, Greek mythology, or anything that would just make your day more passion filled. So, anyways, my daily themes include self nurturing because of my first house, content creation. I relate it to my second house, the fourth house, work/social. I related to my fourth house through eighth house, reflection/spirituality. I related it to just my ninth house placement, and winding down, I related to my 10th house through 12th house placements. How I created it. So first thing I did was figure out how many hours am I awake based on my wake up time and my ideal sleeping times. I calculated 16 hours for my earliest sleep time, and my latest would be 18 hours in my days. So if I fell asleep later, I drew 3 circles with 12 pieces to represent the 12 houses. The first one I divided into 2. The next one was divided into 3, and the last one I divided into 4. Based on how I divided my schedule, each line had a time point, and I compared it with my ideal daily schedule for my responsibilities and incorporated how much time I wanted to spend on actions for my future self daily. From there, I was able to make theme blocks for each time of day. This flexible approach allows me to adapt to unexpected changes while maintaining productivity. Rather than feeling stressed when things don't go exactly as planned, I can easily shift to activities within their themed blocks. The key is having clear categories while remaining adaptable about when specific tasks happen within those categories. Time theming shares similarities with dopamine menus in that both provide structured flexibility and joy in your daily routine, while dopamine menus offer a list of mood boosting activities to choose from when you need a pick me up. Time theming creates broader categories that allow you to pick up activities that align with your energy and interests during specific parts of your day. For example, during my self-nurturing block, it relates to me being a Cancer rising. So since Cancer is the mother of the zodiac and a water sign, I try to incorporate tasks that benefit my home, makes me feel at home in myself, and involve things like water. I might choose from activities like dancing to my favorite playlist while getting ready if I can't get in a dance workout routine, doing light stretches, quickly cleaning while listening to a podcast, walking by the beach if the weather is nice, taking a shower with obviously my favorite products. This approach makes routine tasks more enjoyable while maintaining structure. The micro habit here isn't about following a strict schedule, but rather asking yourself, what activity within this theme would benefit me right now? It's the small mindset shift that makes daily tasks feel more like choice rather than obligations, because like many people, especially within the personal development phase, sometimes when you're constantly trying to improve yourself, it can make life feel like a daily to-do list more than just being enjoyable. So I feel like this approach really helped me to be more intentional and connected with my day-to-day life instead of feeling like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. And it's more like, I get to do this thing. I get to do this thing within this thing. You know what I mean? But the next habit I did was journaling with higher purpose. So one of my most recent transformative micro habits has been giving names to different aspects of my inner self during journaling. So by personifying my highest self and my ego self, I've created a powerful framework for self-reflection. This simple naming practice helps me objectively observe whether my actions and thoughts stem from ego-driven responses like limited perspective, scarcity mindset, defensive reactions, or if it's from my higher self-guidance, which is like compassion, broader perspective, positive contribution. For example, when someone faces a conflict, they can better distinguish between taking healthy space to process emotions versus using silence treatment as a manipulation. Understanding these thought patterns help create more conscious responses rather than reactive behaviors. Making this kind of self-reflection habit creates profound change because it breaks cycles of unconscious reactions, builds emotional intelligence and self-awareness, improves relationship dynamics through better communication, reduces stress by providing clarity in decision making. While developing a journaling practice takes time, this small shift in perspective, simply noting whether thoughts come from a reactive or conscious place, can deepen self-awareness. However, if you're new to journaling, start with a format that matches your learning style. Traditionally, journaling is connected to words and writing, so I won't include linguistic learners in this explanation, but I hope you can find something. So if you are a visual learner, include doodles or mind maps, or you can just simply take a picture of day to journal. Auditory learners, record yourself talking about your day and re-listen to notice the feelings that came up. If your voice or tone changes, you can also do a thing where each day you add a song to a playlist that represents how you felt that day, if the whole recording your own voice thing is difficult. And if you love music, this is a good choice. If you are a learner that learns the best from moving around, I can never pronounce the word. I think it's pronounced kinesthetic learners. So try walking and talking. So record your thoughts while moving and then transcribe later. Or you can journal your mood before working out and then write down your thoughts after working out. Logic learners, create data-driven entries by including tracking metrics like mood ratings, energy levels, productivity levels. Use problem-solving frameworks to analyze situations, or maintain separate sections for observation, analysis, and action items. Nature learners, journal outdoor to connect with nature's rhythm. Use nature metaphors to describe your emotions, such as stormy mood, sunny disposition. Document observation about plants, weather, animals as parallels to personal growth, or create a nature-inspired gratitude list focusing on elements like sunshine, rain, or seasonal changes. So they also say there are social learners and solo learners. So if you are a solo learner, do your journal practice alone. But if you are a social learner, you can create a journaling group and you can do meetups weekly or monthly to chat. And if that's too much for people, you can also do like a virtual group. To make journaling even more micro and approachable, start with one sentence or even one word each day. For visual learners, draw a simple image. For auditory learners, hum or record a 5-second voice note. Kinesthetic learners can do a quick body scan and note one sensation. Logic learners just track one metric daily. Nature learners can simply note the weather or the moon cycle. Social learners can share a single highlight in a group chat. Remember, the goal is to make the habit so tiny it feels almost ridiculous to skip. You can always expand from there once the basic habit is established. The next thing I did was water and vitamins for sustainable energy. Starting my day with water and vitamins has been a game changer for my energy levels. This simple habit helped me prevent energy crashes where I used to find myself dozing off consistently. The key is taking vitamins at the same time each morning with a glass full of water creates a foundation for steady energy levels throughout the day. The impact of this micro habit has been significant. More consistent energy levels throughout the day, better focus and mental clarity, elimination of unexpected midday fatigues, improved productivity without caffeine. And I wanted to make this note because as someone who is still on their PCOS journey, who constantly feels fatigue, I feel like what makes this habit so special is because once your energy levels, as we talked about in the last episode, how energy is a type of resource. So once you have that all sorted out, if that's your underlying problem, it makes everything else so much easier. It takes less than a minute to complete. I keep vitamins and a water bottle by my bedside, making it impossible to forget or to skip. You can also keep it near like your phone or your alarm clock if that's what you typically reach for, and then start from there. This tiny morning ritual has created a noticeable improvement in my daily performance and overall well-being. Last but not least, mindful meal timing. So as an early riser, I typically wake up between 4:30 and 5 a.m. I discovered that meal timing plays a crucial role in maintaining my energy levels as well. This habit of waking up early naturally stemmed from my early years of morning commutes during high school and in college. So through experimentation, I found that eating breakfast within 30 minutes of waking up rather than doing fasted workouts has drastically improved my energy management. The benefits I experienced from this micro habit include better workout performance when fueled properly, reduced late night eating patterns, more stable energy throughout the day, simplified meal planning. Usually I just need a protein shake or a small snack between my breakfast and my dinner time, but my dinner time is actually more on the early side than the later side because sometimes I eat dinner at 3, 4, sometimes 5, really depends on the day, but usually in that window. And basically I finish eating for a day at 6, which works because then I go to sleep early, so it's not that I'm eating too close to bedtime. So then I also wake up with less like stomach aches, because that's another thing. I realized that a lot of times I would eat so late and then in the morning my stomach would just not feel good. I would feel like nauseous waking up, and then that's how like that pattern kept continuing, like eating too late to when I go to sleep, waking up my stomach hurts, felt too sick and too nauseated to eat in the morning, eat later, then keep eating later, and the pattern is just Anyways, the micro aspect of this habit isn't about following a strict meal plan, but rather making one simple adjustment. Eat within the first 30 minutes window after waking up. This small change has created a positive effect on my energy. And if you are someone who wakes up later or practice intermediate fasting, you can modify this approach while maintaining its benefits. For late risers, keep the 30-minute window principle and just shift your wake-up time. For example, if you wake up 9, eat by 9:30. For intermediate fasting, break your fast with a balanced meal and maintain consistent eating windows for each day. The key principle isn't the specific time, but the consistency of your eating patterns. The true power of micro habits lie in their simplicity and sustainability. Whether it's incorporating more movement into your day, structuring your time with flexible themes, developing self awareness through journaling, or establishing consistent routines for nutrition and energy, these tiny adjustments can lead to remarkable transformations over time. If any of my current suggestions aren't suitable for your life, break them down further. The beauty of micro habits is that they work with your natural rhythms and preferences, and making lasting changes to feel effortless and organic. I encourage you to choose just one idea from this post to implement this week. Which micro habit speaks to you the most? What tiny changes could you make today that your future self will thank you for? So that is all for the episode, and now moving on to the card pull. Per usual, I used the Animal Spirit card deck by Kim Kranz, and we got the Peacock. Inner beauty, compassion, a simulator of anything. The beauty of the Peacock is unrivaled. It's easy to think it comes from the plumage, but the secret of the Peacock is that the beauty resides within and extends outward indefinitely. This adapted creature can assimilate or digest all experiences in life, so it does not harbor resentment, conflict, or past pain within its psyche. The peacock type is extremely rare. Not many of us have reached this advanced level of acceptance of the self and others. When in balance, confident and kind. When out of balance, can't digest situations. To bring into balance, meditation on navel. So this card aligns with our discussion of micro habits, as it reminds us that true transformation comes from within. Just as the peacock's stunning appearance reflects its inner beauty, our small daily habits manifest outward change. This card's emphasis on assimilating experiences perfectly complements our approach to sustainable change. Instead of forcing dramatic transformations, we digest and integrate small changes naturally. This mirrors how micro habits work. They're gentle, digestible steps that, when fully absorbed into our routine, create lasting beauty in our lives. Now, to end off with what I'm grateful for. I am grateful that things are clear for me at the moment. Sometimes I do get into patterns where everything seems foggy and I can't seem to figure out my daily actions, but lately I've been a lot more decisive and level-headed. That is all for today. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of A Little Atypical. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share with someone who might need to hear this message. Remember, view the description box because that's where you can find important links such as the one to my website where there's more bonus content. Until next time, have a good day, evening, or night, and stay authentically atypical. Bye!